Alright, see if I can do this by hand without actually having to pull the lawnmower in, because I mean, the fork eye is cleared up, but it's still definitely not dry enough. And it's light enough it can come out, but the problem is, it's still stuck in the mud. So I'm thinking, if I can just pry it up like that. Yeah, if I can pry it up like this all the way around, I might be able to just drag it over there. I still need to get a dumpster, but I think for right now, I'm just gonna start a pile. Alright, I think it might come loose now. Why is this specific panel so heavy? It's not heavy, it's caught on the liner. Caught on the liner on the skimmer. That's why. This is that thick shit. Yeah, oh, I just do this. There we go. Shit, look at how high that wall is. I never realized that that kind of raised bed was actually raised that high. Let's see if I can get the rest of these posts out. There's a stone. Jesus. There's a stone below all of them. Or at least that one. I got mud inside my sock. That's fun. Man, this place is starting to look like it used to. I really wish this would dry out. If this was dry, this would be so much easier to work with. Right now, it's just like a friggin' swamp. There's mosquitoes and bugs and all sorts of shit everywhere. I mean, it's just not comfortable. It's hot, it's humid. It's just a pain in the ass. Let's try the wall again. Let me grab a few of these little pieces. Start maintaining the pile a little bit, because I was just kind of throwing everything everywhere. Alright, the wall's out of the way. That's good. I need a brush cutter, man. I just need the brush cutter. I need to level this. Alright, let's see about the wheelbarrow. Cutting it up and putting it in the wheelbarrow is actually working pretty well. It's just time consuming. And I'm getting eaten alive. But, you know, par for the course. Alright. See if we can dump this. Oh, that's a little heavy. Shit is literally so thick, I can't get the fucking wheelbarrow through it. See, over here it's not as soft. There's a lawnmower there, I never knew about that one. Alright, I'm gonna see if that dries up overnight and get back to it in the morning. Meanwhile, let's see if we can add to that pile out of Pop's place. Alright, I'm back over here. I moved some things out. You can see it's a little different than last. I figured I'm moving a bunch of bullshit out. Y'all don't need to watch that. All this is just like old insulation and shit and dust and mess. The shower drain's under there somewhere. That's all the piping and everything. So the addition was all done. The concrete was poured with my dad, and the house was put up by my dad. And I'm not saying he's a fan of cutting corners, but next thing I want to get out of here is the washer and dryer combo. Problem is, it's still got water. It's not very heavy, which is good, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to caddy corner it around there. I got to get this water cut off first. He put friggin' Quest fittings on that. That's awful. That'll get torn out and turned into an actual, you know, box. Dryer vent. Hose clamp. Hey, look at that. Let's see if I can manage to shoehorn this bitch through this corner. Open this up. Lesson learned. Oh, quit your bitching. Come on. Should have brought someone else with me. I could have someone push the fucking thing. All right, cool. Now in here. I think that's good for now. If it wasn't for that washing machine, this would be a nice fucking bathroom. So that's going to have to get redone at some point. That 220 plug is probably fine itself, but like I said a while ago, this whole section of the house is on 2 breakers that's inside the main house, and it really needs to have its own like sub panel type of deal. The turlet can probably come out. This I was going to tear out, but I don't think the curb stops are working the way they need to, or the angle stops, I mean. It slowed down on that one, but it's still dripping. Either way, it needs new angle stops. Amazingly enough, the one thing I don't have here is a garbage bin. I got the ones out front, but I'm not about to drag one all the way around here just to throw that out. It's just barely, yeah, look. It's just barely dripping, which is actually fine because I need a wrench to get those off. Okay, I need channel locks for that too. Shower head can come out, but I don't have poly cutters, and there's no reason to cut it right now anyway. Alright, so that's some progress for today, I think. I think I might call it here. But here's what I do know. I need a crescent wrench, channel locks, a couple other hand tools to get the rest of this out. After that, I had to bring home the sledgehammer, smash up the turlet, smash this up, throw it all in the garbage bin, and just get rid of it. The fiberglass insert that was here for the shower, for whatever reason, cracked around the bottom rim. Instead of replacing the whole insert, we just cut the bottom out with a multi-tool, laid plastic in there, and had it go into the drain. And Pop was happy with that. He didn't care. As long as he had a working shower and it wasn't going to cause any damage, whatever. I give my dad a lot of shit for cutting corners when he did this, but I mean, let's be honest, he was working 40, 50 hours a week and doing this in the evening just like I'm doing now. So he had to cut him some slack. I know that I'm going to cut some corners. I'm just going to be real with you at this point. There's going to be a couple things that look a little weird, but we'll get it done. The only thing I think I'll change is moving this into here. At the time, it was just the easiest thing because we didn't really want to cut a hole in the fiberglass liner. It just made more sense to just have it outside. And again, Pop didn't care. It was a working shower. That's all that mattered to him. I know I made the joke about cutting corners earlier, but there's actually a reason that is the way it is. You can see that this is kind of structural. Can't really drill a hole through it just for the drain, so I gotta be honest though, I don't really know how else to go about that other than just having that there. I guess we could move the sink over there, but then it'd be kind of tight. I wonder if they make like a sink that only comes out, you know, maybe this far, because if that was the case, that'd be fine. There'd be plenty of room for the door to swing back and forth. Problem is, all the switches are on the wrong sides of the doors, so that's why the doors actually open into the rooms rather than against a wall. So when the door was here originally, you can see the hinges on this side, the door actually opened inward toward the washing machine. So you actually had to fit between the door and the door and the washing machine on one side and the sink on the other just to get to the toilet. At one point I was considering swapping all these around, tearing out all this drywall and just moving everything around. If it's easy enough, I might still do that, but I'm fine with living with the doors backwards a little bit. This one I might change, I don't know. This one, the light switch is here. It did open in this way, but that just bothers me. Actually, you know what I think I'll do? I'll have it swing outward. Yeah, I like that, swing outward. That way I can put shit in the corner, like guns and stuff. I might end up keeping that wardrobe and just putting it here. The way Pop had this set up originally was, the bed was here, he had that recliner that's in there right here, and he had cabinets and all sorts of stuff and a TV right here, and that's all he would do is sit here and watch TV most of the day. He tried to get out later in his years, but it was just hard for him to get out, especially in this kind of heat. I don't know. If he had made it through last summer, I don't know how he would have fared this year, because it's rough. At least now I can walk around freely without having to trip over everything. I still need to go to Walmart and get those bins and start packing all this stuff away. The bar is going to get torn out, the cabinets are going to get torn out, and I'm actually going to put a piece of wood that's wider on it. This kitchen cabinet is going to go. This countertop's going to go. I think I'm going to get one of those sinks that has like a dishwasher built into it, and it's dumb, stupid shit like that. But I think that probably work best here. Fridge is going to come out. I think this is going to be just meat and bait fridge that goes in the garage. Keep shit cold, I can tell you that. And this whole thing will probably get moved down depending. I'm going to try and get that drain to get moved over here. I'm thinking we'll have like the sink and everything here in the corner. Then cooktop, and then a little bit of counter space, coffee maker, stuff like that. And then a fridge on the end. And then most of the, if you're cooking or something like that, most of your space can get used on this bar. Here's what I could do instead though. Take the fridge out, extend the counter space out, put the sink and everything right here. Cooktop can go here. This can be like a corner cabinet, coffee maker type of deal. This whole thing can get essentially moved over, and the fridge can go right there. You know what, actually, instead of that, sink over here, cooktop here, that way I can have a vent going up. At one point, Pop had so much crap stocked into these cabinets, he actually had bricks piled up to the bottom to support it. Let me see if I can get a drill out here. I left the Milwaukee at work and brought the battery and everything for the Makita, and now I set the Makita down and don't know where it's at. It's the same exact fucking thing I did last time I lost it. Oh, there it is. Actually, I might end up moving these cabinets down below the bar if that's the kind of space I'm going to get. Well, I don't know what else is holding it in, but I need a bit short enough to get to them. I'll deal with that one later. The reason I kind of want to get rid of these counter spaces is because I actually want access to the insides between these studs. So the 2x4s will get covered up with some sort of like facade and just finishing nail it, stain it over. And that way it can be like a shelf that you can put cups and whiskey glasses and things like that in. It look kind of neat. Same thing on that side. Just neat, I think I'm going to call it here because I'm hungry. I don't want to go to bed. I need a damn drink is what I need. I need a damn drink. After all that's out of my way, this floor is coming up. I've got some leftover flooring that went in at our place. I want to see if I can maybe start in here and kind of work my way out. I don't know how much I have left over, but if I can at least like get one room out of it, because it's just a bunch of extra slats. And it's not like this like fake tile or fake wood type of deal. It's like LVP. I just need to get some like of that soundproof bubble wrap crap, put that out on the floor, and then work my way out. And I think what I really want to do is the living room was carpet, and then the bedroom and this were like that kind of that hardwood crap that's back there. It's not hardwood, but I want to swap them. I want that kind of hardwood looking stuff in here, and then eventually I want to do carpet in here. I don't know why, I just like carpet in bedrooms. I've always been a fan of carpet. When I went to go get all that flooring from my mom's house, what ended up happening was the guy ended up putting most of the pallet in the back of my truck, and I had to do the Carolina squat 2 miles all the way home. I look like a jackass. We bought this AC unit about a couple years before Pop passed, and I'll tell you what, man, this thing pumped cold air for about 6 months after he passed. I finally turned it off because, electricity, but man, that thing works. I'm gonna run to Walmart because I need a new pair of boots. These are done. These are absolutely trashed. I'd take my mother's vacuum cleaner over here and just run it through the whole thing, but I think she'd stab me if I did. Brand new vacuum cleaner. Alright, I've got my friend Jack Daniels waiting on me at home, so I'm gonna go talk to him for a little while. Forgot to get a broom, so I got the cheapest one that Lowe's had. The plan for today was to cut right below these T's and put in some cutoffs so that way I could, shut the water off and redo some of the plumbing around here because it's not wrong, but I'd like to neaten it up a little bit. Prime example is these right here. You've got these compression fittings and those are just toast. Those just need to come out. Problem is though, I ended up buying the wrong size of everything. I bought 1-inch stuff. I need 3/4. I don't know why I thought it was 1 inch. Coming up through the bottom is the same size as up here. This is a 1-inch male adapter, and it looks about the same diameter as the pipe, but there is a certain inner diameter to this pipe, and 1-inch male adapters are not going to work. I got to get 3/4. I got to run back to Lowe's at some point, probably within the next hour or so. I figure I'll go ahead and get this cleaned out first. There's the old drain. I need to clean that out because that got full of fucking insulation. I don't know why I didn't cover that up. Dr. Paver, how are you? Yes, sir. How are you doing?
You come take a look at my sprinkler system?
Yeah, sure. That's no problem. When are you thinking? When are you best available?
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I look forward to hearing from you. Okay?
Absolutely. No problem at all. That was Dr. Paver. I hurt my back a couple years ago, and it was bad enough for me to go to the doctor, which says a lot. He asked me what I did for a living. I told him I did irrigation, and he said, "Hey, do you mind coming and taking a look at my system after a couple months?" So he wrote down my phone number. I went out there and did a little head work for him, you know, a little bit of side money, not really a big deal. I really try not to do side work in my company because I feel like it's, you know, staying or kind of keeping customers away from my company. If you know me, you know that there's a certain amount of loyalty that I uphold with myself too, and I do the same for the company. And I don't work for a big company. I work for a small-time family company. I mean, the owner's daughter runs the place, and her mother works in there with them. I mean, they're just the nicest, most Christian folks you could ever meet. And they've helped me out a lot in the past with things. You know, I either needed time off work, or I needed this, I needed to borrow this or borrow that, and they've never had a problem with it once. And normally I don't take side work. If anyone asks me, especially while I'm in the work van, I tell them I absolutely do not take side work. I don't take work away from my company. I actually went out there a couple years ago because I thought we had to pull his packer because his pump wouldn't prime. He was having issues getting any water out of it whatsoever. But and got out there, primed the pump up, and there was nothing wrong with it. It just magically worked just fine. I told him, "Sir, I really can't justify charging you $1,000 to pull this packer when it really doesn't need to happen." I will say though, a packer pull would be kind of nice though. I mean, that's another $100,000 that I can use towards this place, which would be certainly helpful because I just spent $100 on the wrong parts at Lowe's, which sucks. It's dusty as a motherfucker in here now. I like how there's, like, you know, just enough room between the studs. He didn't want to cut through the studs, so he just widened them out. Kind of works well though. I can hide drugs in here. And then I need to get the vacuum to get all that crap out of that drain because I didn't really think about it when I took the shower out. Papa just passed like a month prior, so give me a little bit of a break. I was kind of in a mood. Let's see if we can find a trash can with a friggin' bag in it. Use this laundry basket. That's probably best. And I know there was a thing of bags back here somewhere. There's one. Maybe we'll just scoop this inch by inch. Alrighty, just put this over by the door for now. Smaller trash can would probably work a little bit better. Come on, Pop, I know there's some trash bags around here. I put it in this bucket the other day. Nope. Nope, here they are. And they're the cheap Food Line ones, but they work. I know I was putting a lot of my efforts directly into the pool to get that moved around, but what I think I might just do at this point is just go rent an excavator, because the ground over there needs to get graded. And there's a couple other things I need the excavator for. The driveway over here is all fucked up. That needs to get graded. There's a couple pretty deep holes I need to dig. Probably one of the most important things is this deck's got to get replaced. I replaced the boards on it, but it wasn't nearly strong enough. The fence has got to go down. This tree's probably going to come out. That one's going to stay. This all needs to get tossed. I don't even know what's in there. Alright, I got the rest of that insulation cleaned up for the most part. I got a clean floor, and I ran out of garbage bags. I'm going to run back to Lowe's, get the proper parts, go ahead and cut these things in if I can. It's going to be kind of a bitch. I'll probably end up doing it from the washing machine side. I'm going to have to put some sort of trap door underneath on the wall for the studs, so that way I can reach in here and shut them off. I wanted to do like an access panel type of deal, but I think it's just going to be a hole for now. These are probably going to get mounted to something. Those are pretty much what the proper fittings are, the faucets, but I'm going to switch them out. I'm going to get rid of that Quest crap. The compression couplings are known to leak. Those are actually illegal to use in houses now. You can't use, most people call it Quest, but it's polybutylene. You throw all this in a bag. For everything, it was $101.38. And I can't use any of it, with the exception of the broom. I'm going to be keeping all the receipts and adding it up at the end of all this and figure out what exactly I spent renovating at least this half. Alright, well, let me head over to Lowe's. I'll be back with new parts, and we'll see if we can get this wall house cut in. Alrighty, I'm back from Lowe's. I got new shit. I've swapped out the 1-inch stuff for 3/4 stuff, and it actually turns out they had straight up PEX ball valves, which makes things a lot easier. There's a lot less space involved, and you got to buy less parts, so it's cheaper. All that old crap was like $100, and they charged me back like 90 something, and then I bought all this for like 60, so I saved like $30. So it's simple as cutting the line, putting the ball valve in, clamping it, shutting it off, and then opening up the water meter back outside, which I already closed, and then making sure everything doesn't leak. In addition to that, they also had little press-on caps for the PEX lines, which I'm figuring is the easiest thing to do for those angle stops. This whole vanity is going to get taken out. Same thing with the turlet. I just need to get the angle stops to stop leaking for now while I can get stuff moved in here. The problem is, I talked to my dad, and he said that somehow the water lines on this side actually connect to his bathroom on that end. So I can't just shut the water off and leave the cutoffs off. The cutoffs are really only there for when I install the rest of it. That way, hopefully, when I install everything, he won't be home, so he won't need the water. I can just come in here, shut both things off, install what I need to install, and be done with it. So I already cut the water off outside. I didn't know exactly what I was going to need. I was expecting male adapters, so I brought a little bit of everything. Alright, I got the 2 ball valves and the clamps. John was actually nice enough to loan me his PEX tool, which comes in different sizes. And the one in there is 3/4, so we ain't even got to change nothing. PEX is a lot different than working with poly or PVC. PVC requires glue, PEX requires these little pinch clamps. PEX, on the other hand, has the option for pinch clamps, but for the most part, they use these little compression rings. This goes around the pipe and the fitting, kind of like it's pressed in there, and this whole thing just pinches the jaws shut, so you don't have to worry about it. The one thing of note, though, is that these cuts actually do have to be flush. And John apparently doesn't have one in here, but there is actually a go, no-go gauge for these things. If you've ever seen a go, no-go gauge, it literally is just a U-shaped gauge, so it ought to be a little bit more forgiving than you'd think. So I'm editing this right now, and I realize that there's like 0 lighting on this. I know it's kind of hard to watch, but I'll have better lighting next time. Sorry, lesson learned. So I'm thinking that the best option for this is to be able to get into that panel if I absolutely need to. Say one of the angle stops just bursts off magically. You're going to need to cut the water off fairly quickly. And not everyone just has a water key laying around the house. I do, but fuck it. Sometimes it's cold and I'd rather just cut something off inside the house. Go ahead and put this in. And all it does is really kind of fall into place with PEX. PEX is fairly easy to mess with. Get the crimpers. I know there's not a whole lot of light here for you to see, but make sure it's sit flush. Just like that. Got plenty of play. That ain't coming out. Grab another ring clamp. Go ahead and put it on there. Go ahead and press it on. We can actually pull this cold line out of the way a little bit, just enough to get the crimpers in there. You want it to be set about, I believe they say 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 to 1/4 inch will be fine. We're gonna have to do this one backwards. And it doesn't close that way. Fuck. Let's try moving the washing machine. Oh yeah, there's a lot more room on this side. I have just enough play to get this all the way on. Hey, look at that. That ought to work. That clamp's kind of nasty, but I think it will work. I'm not wearing a hat right now, so the camera's probably just like falling off my damn head. And I'm sweaty. Me, Chris, and Ryan were out of this damn job, and it was about 100 degrees today. If you have enough room, you could probably have them just going in 2 different directions, but I kind of want to make that panel as small as I can, so I'm going to have them go in just both handles in one direction. Cool. Alright. As always, you got to test these things, so I'm going to run outside, turn the water meter on. Cool. I just turned the water meter back on. I didn't check the leak detector, but as far as I can tell, it's solid on the supply ends. The next step is we're going to open them up and see if they leak. Alright, let's start with cold first. I don't feel no leaks. Is this sink in here working? No, it wouldn't be working because I turned the fucking angle stop off. Genius, Hunter, genius. But either way, no leaks. You could hear water running through it. Turn this hot one on. Feel around it with your fingers for a minute. Really, you want to watch it, but I ain't got that kind of time, so. But now I know neither of them leak, so I can cut these off, turn the water off, and be done. All right, next step is I want to cut off all the leaking angle stops and put those little press-on caps on them. If you don't know what shark bites are these little press-on compression fittings, and they're really easy to use, but they are kind of expensive. I got 6 of these. I wasn't really planning on doing the one with the toilet. They come in packs of 3. But by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the kitchen is 5 and 6. So I can cut them all out today. Cutters, hot water's off, cold water's off. Let's get ready and cut it. Now the drain, I can't really do anything about at this point. I just kind of got to get this vanity out the way. But in the meantime, I can cut these angle stops off and be done with it. Let's go ahead and cut this one. This is all concrete flooring and this vanity is going away, so I don't really care about water damage. We'll do the same thing with the other side. Open up this angle stop. That was rather violent. Cut this off. Of course, it's gonna leak everywhere. Take these 2 caps. Oh, press this little cap on. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, you can see water's on the floor. That doesn't really matter, but it makes things a slight more pain in the ass. Is this vanity gonna come off easy? Oh yeah, it is. Down there. Sit right there. Take this hammer. Alright. Let's get her in there. There we go. That one's on. It takes a little bit of force. Come on. There we go. Alright, and to test those, we'll just turn the water back on for just a moment. Cold. Turn the hot on. I don't see no dripping. We're good. I figure we'll go ahead and do the same with the laundry ones because I am really afraid of those compression fittings. Let's see if we can be smart about it and drain them before we cut them. Now these faucets probably work just fine, but they've been in here for 20 years. So I've already got it open. You might as well change them out. I'll go ahead and put the cap on this one. There we go. Alright, go ahead and test both of these. Cold, hot. Alright, cool. Get rid of the toilet, get rid of this vanity. Then we can start with the shower as soon as I get the rest of the insulation out. That's not going to happen tonight, but I'm going to try and at least get these out of here. I meant to bring home a crescent wrench, but I forgot. I got channel locks instead. And then I'll probably cut that one off and replace that one, make the angle stop flush with the wall. But I'm not really worried about it right now. It doesn't leak, so whatever. That, and I didn't buy enough caps. Gotta remove these little nuts. The T-bolts holding the toilet down are just freely spinning inside the flange. They're not tight at all. I didn't bring a socket set, and I can't get to them. So we're just gonna take the whole thing out in one piece. That seems rather difficult, Hunter, doesn't it? Not really. I don't like the idea of smashing this thing up while it's still technically attached to the flange. You run the risk of damaging the flange, but I can't get them out either way. And don't worry, the toilet was clean. All that staining is not actually from shit. What that was is when Pop passed, he had a bunch of leftover medications, and a lot of it was medications, and it all needed to get flushed. So I flushed it. And hey, look at that. Come right off the flange, huh? And don't worry, bitch, you're getting some too. Well, there's still a couple pieces of ceramic that are trapped by the T-bolts. I'm gonna see if I can get them out. I gotta cut them off with a grinder. They're not T-bolts, they're just bolts through the bottom of the flange. That's all good. I'll just bring the grinder home tomorrow. But we do know a couple things for certain. 1, our cutoffs work. 2, those caps work. And 3, breaking stuff's fun. You know, it's days like this where I'm not sure if Pop would be proud of me for getting things done, or he's rolling over in his grave because I'm doing this. Yeah, just wait till it's done, Pop. You'll see. Cut this rag in half and just shove it in the drain holes for now. And same thing with you. Does the vanity want to come out? Excuse me, I wasn't really asking. Actually, I think that's only held on by like 2 screws. Come on, damn it. That was easy. What's it going to look like from this side? Oh yeah, it's totally accessible. So what I'll end up doing, I'll probably concrete that little hole that all that got brought up in with. Just cut a little section out of here and basically leave a loose piece of drywall. I was going to put a little access panel in here, but I'm not worried about it. To get this cleared out, all I really need to do is go get a shovel, a flat tip shovel. Take a square point shovel, or if I have a snow shovel, that'd work even better. Scoop it all up, sweep it on, throw it directly in the trash can. Don't worry about it. That's all going to have to get changed. That's the only biggest issue, and that's not too big of a deal. One, because it's at standing height. It's a lot easier to deal with. And two, because tomorrow when I get paid, I'll go get elbows and shit. I'm going to have to punch a new hole because I'm not sure if you can see the logistical problem here, but set just a little too low. So it needs to go up higher. It's 9 o'clock. I worked, what, 10 hours today? And then come over here and worked. And now it's fucking dark. It was a fucking scorcher out here today. I mean, it was 100 degrees outside. That fucking AC unit puts in some work, Bubba. Probably end up going and getting some more of those caps. I've got enough to cut off the angle stops in the kitchen, but I'm not gonna do that tonight. I am not worried about it at all. You know what the worst part about the work being done is you look around and you go, man, I feel accomplished. I'm tired. All I wanna do is sit down, drink a beer, and just take my fucking work boots off, man. It's the best feeling in the world. And then you turn around and realize you gotta clean up all that bullshit. Right, so what's not mine? And John said this was all messed up, but we're gonna put it back together nice and neat if we can for him. And then 3/4 ones just stay inside the jaws. And that was all that was in there. Appreciate it, John. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.